Welcome to Geopolitical Compass. I'm Kai, and with me as always is my co-host Zara. Today we're diving into a deeply concerning development happening across federal institutions.
That's right, Kai. The Trump administration is pushing a sweeping purge, deleting diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) records from federal archives. But what's really alarming, it's not stopping at DEI.
Right, this isn't just about policy changes. They're deleting historical records, files that document the experiences and achievements of diverse Americans.
And it's not just a few cases, it's a systematic purge. Federal agencies are flagging thousands of records, wiping them from databases. But here's what makes it really troubling. Even unrelated history is getting caught in the crossfire.
We're seeing numbers that are staggering. The Pentagon alone has flagged over 26,000 records for removal.
And one of the most jaw-dropping examples? The removal of records about the Enola Gay.
The Enola Gay, the B-29 bomber that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, it's one of the most famous aircraft in history.
But because the name includes the word gay, it got flagged. Even though it was named after the pilot's mother, Enola Gay Tibbets.
That's completely absurd. This isn't about DEI, this is about erasing history.
And it's not just Enola Gay. They're also removing records of the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American military aviators who served with distinction during World War II.
These records aren't about diversity programs. They're about American military history. The Tuskegee Airmen flew combat missions, escorted bombers, and never lost a single one to enemy fire.
Yet their history is now at risk of being deleted because it gets caught under some overly broad purge.
Pentagon spokesman John Olliott defended the move, saying that DEI efforts don't align with the department's values. But let's be real. Whose values are we serving when we erase actual history?
You know, Kai, this one really hits home for me.
How so?
I remember visiting the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum as a kid, standing under the Enola Gay, looking up in awe. But what really captured me? The exhibits about female pilots.
The Women Air Force Service pilots, WASPs.
Exactly. These women were pioneers. I still remember this one photo of a WASP pilot climbing into her cockpit. I was just a little girl in pigtails, staring at it, thinking, that could be me. That moment made me believe I could do anything.
And now those very images could be erased.
Yeah, and it's personal because as a queer woman, I never thought I'd live in a time where my own identity could be erased from history. Seeing those exhibits as a kid made me feel seen. Now I wonder, will the next generation of young girls ever get to experience that moment?
And this isn't just about the Pentagon, the purge is spreading.
The Department of Education has placed employees on administrative leave, not just DEI officers, but anyone who worked on related initiatives.
The IRS has gone even further. They scrubbed every mention of diversity, equity, and inclusion from their official handbook.
This isn't just a revision, it's a rewrite.
It's a chilling effect. Agencies are overcompensating, deleting valuable records just to avoid scrutiny.
You know what this reminds me of? Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
Exactly. In Bradbury's world, they burned books. Now we delete digital records with a keystroke.
And the erasure isn't random. It disproportionately affects the history of marginalized communities. The stories that have already fought to be preserved are the first to go.
So the real question is, what happens next?
If we keep allowing history to be rewritten by those in power, how much of it will we even recognize in the future?
And when we start removing certain perspectives, we're not just erasing history, we're distorting it.
The irony? By trying to erase DEI, they're proving exactly why we needed it in the first place.
If we don't push back now, we risk losing more than just records. We lose our ability to tell the full story of who we are.
This is why Geopolitical Compass covers these stories, because once history is erased, it's hard to get it back.
And before we go, just a quick note.
This episode was AI generated for discussion purposes. While the conversation is synthetic, the issues, research, and analysis are real.
Want to keep the discussion going? Fact check, engage, and share your thoughts.
And check your archives before they disappear.
See you next time.